All right, this video is going to be on what is slope, basically. So write down topic, what is slope? So we'll go over that in this video, and then in the next video we'll do examples of how to actually find slope from different situations. But for now we're going to define it. So your vocab is slope, and slope is a number that describes the direction and steepness of a line. Okay, so that's our definition. And then we're going to write down the 4 different types of slope. So 4 types. We can have positive slope, and that's when the number is positive, and it could look like this, or it could be more steep, like this, or it could be less steep, like this. The thing these all have in common is that they are going up as you look at them from left to right. So that's what a line with positive slope looks like. The next type is negative slope, and that would look like a line going down as you read it from left to right. So there's one example of negative slope. The third type is zero slope, and that looks like a flat horizontal line like this. And then the fourth type is what we call undefined slope, and that looks like a vertical line. This is undefined because, well, it's not a function. It would fail the vertical line test. And if you think about it, if you had 2 points on it, and if you tried to find the rise over the run is 0, and you can't divide by 0. When you try to divide by 0, you get undefined. So that'll make more sense later when we do examples. Okay, so there's the 4 types. And then we're going to write down different ways that we refer to slope. So the most common way that you probably heard of before is, let's write slope, is rise over run. A lot of you probably learned that in middle school. Another way we can say it, which is really equivalent to this, is in words. We could say the change in y over the change in x. That's what rise really means. Rise is the change in y, run is the change in x. We can abbreviate that by using this Greek symbol delta, which is a triangle, delta y over delta x. Delta means change in. So when you see triangle y, that means change in y over change in x. And then another way that we're going to be learning is what we call the slope formula, and that goes like this. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And we'll deal more with that later when we look at examples. But it really is just the same as all these others. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1 is you're finding the difference between the 2 y values, which is the change in y, which is the rise. Okay, so those are the 4 ways that we might refer to slope, also known as rate of change. And then one other little note I want to make is that slope can always be given as a fraction. So let's write that down. Slope can always be given as a fraction. And sometimes it's really helpful to give it as a fraction. If it comes as a whole number, like say if your slope was 2, that's really the same as 2 over 1. So your rise is 2, your run is 1. If your slope was negative 5, then that's the same as negative 5 over positive 1. So that means your rise would be going down 5 and to the right 1. Or it could be a positive 5 over negative 1. So you could be going up 5, but to the left 1. That's what negative direction is to the left. And sometimes you might see it just with the negative sign out front. and a 5 over 1. And then you can decide if you want the negative to go with the 5 or the negative to go with the 1. It can only go with one or the other to have the overall slope still be negative 5. Okay, so that's about it for this topic of what is slope, and then go to the next video to see the examples of finding slope from graph and tables and ordered pairs. Thank you.